Good morning, YouTube. It's Wednesday morning. It's about 6:15. I gotta secure this load and get it out of here. I'm all done. Yeah. So here's what we're left with. Look at that crazy hole. 40-foot shipping container gone. I did leave this last 10-foot section, and why I did that was there's and I'm not cleaning up any of the organics. The maintenance staff here at the high school is they're gonna clean up the organics, and one of the guys is a kind of a rookie scrap metal guy, and he was out here, just a real nice guy. I've dealt with him for the last 4 years or so, through the theater, doing theater stuff, and he was helping me lift some of these heavier floor panels to flip them over and to get the plywood out. And I left that for him. I asked him if he wanted that piece, and he's like, oh yeah. So that's the reinforced end of the shipping container. It's about 10 feet long, and that probably weighs 600 or 700 pounds, I imagine. It's very stout, but he said he would take it. He'd cut it in half and he'd drag it on his trailer, and you know, that's kind of a thank you for all the help he's given me over the years in the theater. You know, you got to hook people up that hook you up. So check this project off my bucket list. The bucket list of cutting up a 40-foot shipping container without any heavy equipment, check. I asked myself, would I do this again? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never, and never's a long time, but I will never do this again, ever. This container was purchased by the school used in 1978. That's the curb it was hung up on. I had to get the floor jack out here to lift it up over the top of the curb, but it was purchased used in 1978, and it was put here. It was put here before this retaining wall was in place. See, the old parking structure used to, there was no parking here before. The old parking lot used to kind of slope down, and they backed it in through here, set it up against the wall in 1978, and that's where it's lived. And then over the course of time, they filled this up to make parking, and then put this retaining wall. So, things to consider when cutting up a large shipping container. First and foremost, I gotta say, I did not cut this up or take this project on with the intention of earning a profit. Okay, let's get that out of the way first. This was done primarily as a favor to the school. I was going to be the catalyst to get this old rusty box out of here. The intention, and maintenance staff is going to do this, they're going to clear the rest of this, including that plastic shed out, and then they're going to build us a house. They got a guy that's going to come in. I'm not building it. I don't have time to take the project on, but they've got a guy. I guess the school uses a guy, and he's going to build one that's 40 feet long, and from the retaining wall to the curb here, we need to leave 36 inches for the fire department connections. So that's going to be a good, it's like 31 or 32 feet this way, 40 feet deep. We're going to store nice dry storage for all the props, all the set pieces, all the furniture that we have in inventory, and I'm really excited about that. Considerations when you're cutting up a shipping container. I used a Hilti 2-stroke gas-powered rotary cutoff saw. 14-inch blade is what it took. Out the door for a 24-hour rental on that thing is $93 where I live. That includes the 10% damage waiver and sales tax. 93 bucks out the door. I have a good, honest, and I'm stupid, right? I am stubborn, and the harder the work gets and the harder the job is, the more I put my head down and just push through it. So I don't know if that's necessarily, I'm very stubborn when it comes to projects and stuff that I feel like I'm getting in over my head. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I have an honest 9 hours of stick time on that saw. I ran that thing, honestly, for 9 hours. The first day I was here for 10 hours. Yesterday I was here for 10 hours, 9.5 or 10 hours. So I have 20 hours into this project, 20 man hours into this project, and I still need to dump this. Now this is easy. This morning, because I've got to get back to paying jobs, right? I've got to get back to that kitchen I'm remodeling. I just drive to the scrapyard and they pick it up with the little claw and a magnet plate, and they empty it, so I don't have anything to do but drive through the scales. But yeah, so 93 bucks to rent the saw. I bought 20 of these blades, right? And I used, so can you see that? These blades are $6 a piece, $5.97 plus tax. And I burned through 10 of these blades. So it's about 60 bucks with tax. I'm gonna take these other 10 back. But, so 10 blades, about 60 bucks, $93 for the saw. I got the first gallon of gas for free, and I burned through almost 2 gallons of fuel. Yeah, not including Suburban fuel. And I should have been more cognizant of this beforehand. When I originally priced this out the end of last year, scrap prices were at $266 a ton. As of yesterday, scrap iron prices are $200 a ton. So that's a significant difference when you start talking several tons. And at 9,000 pounds, the scrapyard they don't take plywood. This had a plywood floor on it. And they do not take mixed loads, period. I asked the guy yesterday, I pleaded with him. So I had to pull the plywood off. Now, this is 1 1/8" plywood, 40 feet long, 8 foot wide. There's 10 sheets of plywood in here. That's 1,000 pounds right there. 1 1/8" plywood honestly weighs between like 100 and 135 pounds. So I'm gonna put it at a nice even number of 100 pounds, or probably a little bit heavier, but that's 1,000 pounds right there. And there's plywood still on that base. That guy's got to deal with that, not me. So right there, I've already lost 1,000 pounds. I knew the box was pretty rusted. You can see here there are rust holes. So I imagine we lost, I don't know, 500 pounds in rust. They're going to clean up all this mess here, so I don't have to do that. That's kind of nice. I've got 2 days in this. Well, two beekeeper days. Not 2 regular people would not have worked 2 10-hour days, and I'm a little beat up today. I'll have to admit, after day 2, yesterday kind of hurt me, putting all this stuff in here. And yeah, I can't wait for this to be done. So that's it. There's a shipping container. Yeah, consumables. Oh, and the only sizable soft tissue injury I got, which was very, very fortunate, was this little burn on my arm. That little burn, wait, where are we? There we go. Nice little burn on my arm. That's a spark burn. Likely that's the little gap that opened up between my work gloves and my welding jacket when I was doing some overhead cutting. Ay, boy, the plywood broke my spirit yesterday. When I dumped that load yesterday, I asked the guy, and he's like, "No, we won't take it." And that really broke my spirit, because I would have been done so much quicker. If I wasn't so close to a main thoroughfare, I would have just lit it on fire and burned the plywood off of it. But it's screwed down. They use these big broadhead screws, and they're so rusted in there, you can't get them out. You can't screw them out. So what I ended up doing was I ended up taking these flooring panels, which are these guys right here. I flipped them upside down. I suspended one end up a little bit so there was a gap between the plywood and the floor, and I stood over it with an 8-pound sledgehammer and just beat the plywood out of it. And that took the remaining ounces of strength I had to do that, but I got all the floor panels beat out. And this shit's heavy. I mean, this is no joke. This is the locking part right here. That's 1/2-inch steel. Oh, this is gonna be a heavy load. So yeah, so I will end this video with the scrap receipts. Let's see exactly how much scrap I got out of this. Yesterday was 266 bucks worth of scrap. Today I'm figuring it's going to be about 350, maybe 350 bucks of scrap. So if you were going to do this for profitability, I don't see how it's profitable. And I should have been more cognizant of that when we had ads up for the last probably 2 years. Even when scrap was at its heyday at 266 bucks a ton, we couldn't get scrap metal guys to bite on this thing. Everybody wanted to be able to take it out as a complete unit. Nobody wanted to cut it up into pieces and I should have figured this out, how much work is involved. But yeah, we couldn't get anybody to bite. We even offered, we put together a kitty of about 500 bucks we were going to give a company, and they came out and took a look at it. We were going to give them 500 plus scrap value at 266 a ton, and they declined. So I should have been, oh well, live and learn, right? Off the bucket list, never to be done again. Absolutely no hard feelings to the school though. I don't want to make it look like I'm complaining. because I did not do this for fun. I did not do this for profit. I did this because I want to see the drama program at the school use their money wisely to build us a nice little Scooby Shack here for our goodies. So I'm gonna cable this load down, warm the truck up, and let's get her going. Where are my, did I bring my keys? Oh, where are my keys? Oh, whew. Dude, I almost locked myself out of my truck. That would have sucked. Let's see what happens. Come on, baby. Yeah, baby. All right, I gotta get some gloves on, some cables going. I'll be right back. So the old truck is working. I just pulled over to double check the chain binders and make sure the load hadn't shifted. I've gone about 5 miles and everything's good. The load is steady, but I'll tell you what, guys, this sucker is heavy. I don't know if I mentioned in the last video that the brakes don't work on this trailer. I have a brake controller, electric brake controller in my Suburban, and there are trailer brakes on the trailer, but they don't work. Yeah, oh dude, don't pull out in front of me. Golly, I hate when people make a mistake when they're driving and they just stop. They just stop. So anyhow, yeah, we heavy. So I gotta drive with my full attention on this load here. I've got about 5 or 6 more miles before the scrapyard. So hear that? Those are my tires. My turn. Hey, how you doing? All right, I'll keep it running for the next stop sign. I'll show you how much force is being put on these BFG mud terrains. Boy, these people sure don't give you any damn room, do they? This trailer's really wide. Okay, ready? Listen for the brakes. That's the stops, the painted stop on the pavement. Problem, it's now 7 o'clock a.m. and I got all the people that are just hell bent on getting to work, and they're not giving me much wiggle room here. So, that is awesome. I need one of those. I need one. I didn't have the camera ready at the time, but they won't let you take video footage inside this scrapyard. But that's pretty damn cool. Alright, so let's see where we ended up. Yesterday, the 18th, I came in there with my Suburban at 10,560, and I left at 7,900, 2,660 pounds of steel, $200 a ton. They gave me $266. This morning I got there. Boy, it took me a while to get in line and everything. But anyway, this morning I came in at 11,640, 7,980 on the way out for 3,660 pounds, which is mysteriously interesting that yesterday I had 2,660 pounds and I had exactly 1,000 more pounds today. Somehow I think there's some rounding down, I imagine. I don't imagine they round up on their numbers. 200 a ton, 366 bucks. So yeah, so it's definitely more profitable for me to pound nails and fit trim and, you know, do what I do. Certainly don't want to be a shipping container scrap metal guy for a living. Because that's a lot of work for a very small amount of money, in my mind at least. Anyhow, that's my adventurous life, huh? You never know what's going to show up on the Beekeeper's channel. Thanks for watching. See you.